Um, you walked into a room and something happened. Not one thing. Not a single moment of being noticed by a single person in a single direction. Something much more interesting than that, much more layered, much more alive with the specific energy of multiple people in multiple ways, from multiple angles, all responding to the same source simultaneously, you. And the most remarkable part of it, the part that came through so clearly when I sat with your energy today, that I actually had to pause and sit with it for a moment before I could move forward, is that you may not have fully registered the totality of what was happening around you. You may have caught pieces of it, felt the general warmth of being in a space where the energy toward you was positive and present. But the full picture, the complete scope of who was watching and what they were feeling and what they are now carrying with them after the encounter, that picture is larger than what you were able to see from where you were standing inside it. Let me show you the full picture. Stay with me, because this reading is going to feel like stepping outside of your own experience and seeing it from the perspective of everyone else in the room. And what you are going to see from that perspective is genuinely, wonderfully, almost embarrassingly flattering. I sat down to record this, and what came through immediately was not a single energy or a single person or even a single theme. It was a crowd, not literally, but energetically. A cluster of different presences, different intentions, different qualities of feeling, all oriented in the same direction toward you. And at the front of that crowd, the most vivid and the most insistent presence, the one whose energy was the first to break through and demand to be addressed, was someone younger, significantly younger in some cases, someone who encountered you and whose reaction to that encounter has been, in the most literal possible sense, overwhelming for them. This younger person did not expect you. They were not prepared for the specific quality of what you brought into their awareness. And the gap between what they expected from an encounter with you and what they actually experienced in the reality of being in your presence is the gap where their feelings are currently living loudly, insistently, without any real signs of quieting down. Let me speak about this younger person specifically because their energy is the most present and the most immediate in this reading, and they deserve their own full examination. They carry a freshness, an openness, a quality of not yet having accumulated the specific protective layers that time and experience tend to deposit around a person's capacity to feel things fully and immediately. They are still in that phase of life where emotions arrive without the buffer of extensive prior experience telling them how much to feel and how quickly to feel it and how carefully to manage the expression of what they feel, which means that what they felt when they encountered you arrived without filtration, without the usual adult tendency to immediately apply reason and practicality and the lessons of previous disappointments to whatever is currently being felt. It arrived in full, direct, undiluted by any of the emotional management strategies that older experience tends to produce. And what arrived in full, direct, undiluted form was an attraction so immediate and so complete that it genuinely caught them off guard. Like stepping into sunlight after a long time indoors and having the warmth of it be almost too immediate, too present, too much to fully absorb at once. You were too much for them in the best possible way, in the way of something genuinely extraordinary being encountered by someone who has not yet fully developed the capacity to act normal in its presence. I want to speak to what specifically got to this younger person, because it was not simply surface level attraction, though that is absolutely present. It was something more layered, more surprising to them given their own expectations of what they would find in you. It was your depth, the specific Virgo quality of having an interior life so rich and so textured and so genuinely interesting that it creates a gravitational pull in people who have enough sensitivity to register it. They looked at you and felt, perhaps for the first time with this particular acuity, the difference between someone who is simply present in a space and someone whose presence reconfigures the quality of the space itself. You reconfigured something in them, in their understanding of what another person can be, in their sense of what connection can feel like when the person you are connecting with is operating from real depth rather than surface alone. And they are not the same as they were before the encounter. They know it. They feel the difference in themselves, even if they cannot fully articulate what changed. And the knowledge that something in them shifted in the presence of you permanently and without their full consent is both thrilling and slightly terrifying for someone who is still learning how to navigate the more complex territories of what they feel. Now let me speak to the others, because this reading promised a crowd, and I intend to deliver the full scope of what is present here. Beyond the younger person at the front of this energetic gathering, there are others, different ages, different contexts, different histories with you or with the idea of you, but all of them sharing the same essential orientation in this moment. They are all, in their own way, into you. And the variety of that, the specific ways in which different people with different energies and different relationships to your presence are all simultaneously responding to the same source, is one of the more remarkable things I have encountered in reading energy. There is someone closer to your age whose feelings have been building for a longer time and with a more considered quality than the immediate, overwhelming response of the younger person. This is someone who has had more time to observe you, who has accumulated a more complete picture of who you are through sustained proximity, and what that picture has produced in them, built over time and through the slow accumulation of moment after moment of you simply being who you are, is something steadier and more grounded than the younger person's immediate overwhelm. It is devotion, quiet, patient, almost unannounced devotion, the kind that does not announce itself loudly because it is too real to require performance, the kind that has simply been sitting in the background of your shared awareness, present and warm and occasionally visible in small ways that you may have noticed but not fully investigated. This person has been waiting for the right moment, and the energy of right now, the specific convergence of where you both are in your lives and in your individual readiness, is beginning to feel to them like that moment is approaching. There is also someone in this gathering who surprised themselves, who did not come into your orbit expecting to feel what they feel, who had a clear and settled sense of what their life looked like and where their attention belonged and what they were and were not available for. And then you appeared or reappeared or made yourself visible in a way you had not been before. And something in their very settled, very clear, very organized sense of their own life became suddenly less settled, less clear, less organized. They are not entirely comfortable with this. They are the type who prefers to know what they feel before they feel it too strongly, who prefers to have the ground beneath them solid before they take steps in any direction, who prefers the specific comfort of certainty to the specific discomfort of being genuinely, helplessly surprised by their own interior life. And you have made them helplessly surprised by their own interior life, which means they are currently in a state of internal negotiation, trying to reconcile what they thought they knew about themselves and their availability with what they are actually experiencing in the presence of your energy. And the negotiation is not going the way they intended when they began it. You are winning without trying, without knowing you are in the contest at all. Does any of this feel like a landscape you have been sensing around you recently without having the full picture of it? Have you felt eyes on you from multiple directions without being entirely sure whose or what they carried? Let me know in the comments, because I feel so many of you are surrounded by more interest and more genuine feeling than you have been giving yourself credit for, and I want to know how this is landing for you. Let me speak now to something that I feel is important to address in the context of everything that is present in this reading. You are surrounded by interest, Virgo, real interest from multiple people in multiple forms with multiple qualities and depths of feeling, and that is genuinely wonderful. It is a reflection of something real about who you are and the specific kind of energy you produce in the people who have the privilege of being in your world. But I also want to say something honest about what to do with all of this, because being the person that multiple people are into simultaneously while undeniably validating also carries its own complexity, its own responsibility, its own requirement for the specific discernment that, fortunately for you, is one of your most fully developed capacities. Not all of these feelings, however genuine they are in their individual expressions, are equal in what they can offer you. The younger person's immediate, overwhelming, completely undiluted response to you is real. But real feeling in someone who is still learning how to hold feeling responsibly is not the same as the grounded, patient, deliberately chosen quality of feeling in someone who has lived enough to understand the weight of what they are extending. The devotion of the person who has been watching you for longer and building something steadier carries a different quality than the overwhelm of someone encountering you for what feels like the first time with their full emotional capacity, available and unguarded. Your discernment knows the difference. It always does. And this is the moment to let it operate without the interference of the flattery, however pleasant, of simply being surrounded by multiple people who are responding to you. Ask yourself not just who is into you, but who is good for you. Who can hold what you are at the depth it deserves? Who brings something real to the exchange, rather than simply responding to what you bring? That question will clarify the field very quickly. Inhale. I want to speak to something else that came through in this reading that I do not want to pass over without giving it the space it deserves. The fact that this many people are responding to you in this way right now is not random. It is not simply the product of circumstances or proximity or any of the external factors that might seem to explain it on the surface. It is the direct result of something that is happening within you in this season. You are in your energy right now in a way that you have not always been. Something has aligned. Some internal settling has occurred. some resolution of a conflict that was previously running in the background of your daily experience, taking up space and slightly dimming the specific quality of light that is naturally yours when that conflict is not present. Whatever work you have been doing, and I feel that work has been real and sustained and largely private, has produced something visible, something that is radiating outward from you in a way that people are responding to before they have the language for why they are responding. Something that has made the version of you that currently exists in the world more fully and completely yourself than previous versions. And fully being yourself in the specific, unrepeatable, deeply particular way that you embody your own identity is the most magnetic thing any person can do. It does not require effort or strategy or any form of conscious cultivation. It simply requires the willingness to be, without apology or qualification, exactly who you actually are. You are doing that right now. And the crowd that has gathered in your energetic field is the evidence of it. Let me bring this reading into a more grounded place before we close, because I want to make sure you leave with something practical alongside everything that is warming and affirming about what has come through today. With multiple people responding to you simultaneously, there is a temptation that I feel I should name. The temptation to simply enjoy the warmth of it without making any real decisions. To let the validation of being wanted by multiple people become a comfortable state that does not require movement in any particular direction. To bask in the field of feeling directed toward you without doing the discernment work of figuring out which, if any, of these connections deserves your genuine investment. That temptation is understandable. After seasons of perhaps feeling less seen or less desired or less responded to than you deserved, arriving in a season where the opposite is true is genuinely lovely, and you are allowed to enjoy it fully, without guilt. But I also want to say that your heart, the one that has the capacity to give and receive real, deep, sustaining connection at a level that most of these people are still working toward being able to meet, deserves more than simply being admired from multiple directions. It deserves to be chosen by someone worthy of choosing it. And to choose in return from a place of genuine alignment rather than simply responding to whoever is most present or most insistent or most immediately overwhelming in their feelings. Take your time. Read the field with those extraordinary Virgo eyes. And when you feel the pull towards someone that comes not from the flattery of their response to you, but from the genuine recognition of their quality, their depth, their capacity to meet you where you actually live. Move in that direction clearly, deliberately, with the full confidence of someone who has done the discernment work and knows what they are choosing and why. As I bring this reading to its close, I want to leave you with something that I feel is the truest and most essential message within everything that has come through today. You are magnetic right now. Genuinely, specifically, multiply confirmed, magnetic. And the magnetism is not coming from anything you are performing or projecting or deliberately cultivating. It is coming from the simple, profound, increasingly visible reality of you being fully yourself in a world where most people never quite manage that. The younger person who cannot get over their response to you, the devoted one who has been building something steady over time, the surprised one who did not expect to feel what they feel, each of them is responding to the same thing. to the specific frequency of a person who is operating from their authentic center rather than from the managed, adapted, curated version that most people present to protect themselves from being fully known. You are being fully known. And the response to being fully known for someone who carries what you carry is exactly what this reading has described. A crowd, each person in it different, each feeling genuine, each responding to the same extraordinary source. You let that land without immediately minimizing it or analyzing it into something smaller than it is. Let it simply be what it is. A moment of clear, undeniable, multiply-sourced confirmation that who you are, fully and without apology, is something the world responds to with its full and genuine attention. You are seen, Virgo, by more people and in more ways than you have been allowing yourself to fully believe. Start believing it. If this reading moved something in you today, please share it with a Virgo who needs to feel this energy right now. And leave me a comment below telling me how this landed. Tell me which of the people I described resonated most clearly with someone in your actual life. Tell me if you have been feeling this energy gathering around you without having the full picture of it until now. I read every single word you share with me, every comment, every story. I carry your energy with genuine care long after this video ends. Until next time, Virgo, walk into every room knowing what you now know, that the response to your presence was never something you had to earn. It was always simply the natural consequence of being exactly, completely, and without apology. You